Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Skye and today we're going to be doing some swatches, a first impression, and talking all about the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette. I am unbelievably excited for this palette. As soon as Glaminatrix like sneak peeked some of the shades, I was like, alright, I'm gonna buy her. I need her in my life. And Glaminatrix reached out to me and added me to their PR list. So, thank you so much Glaminatrix for sending this to me in PR. I am so appreciative of it. They're not paying me to make this video, they just sent the product for free. But yes, I am so excited to be doing swatches, a look with you guys, and talking all about this palette. So, the first things first, let's talk about the packaging. This packaging is a synthetic leather and the color is absolutely divine. And the name is written on here, kind of like embeveled in. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it's the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette, and at the top it also says Glaminatrix Cosmetics up here, which I really like. It's a really beautiful touch. Glaminatrix have never done packaging quite like this, and this is just so damn cool. Like, it's so cool to me. It's pretty unique. Like, it's really sleek and beautiful and luxurious. I will say, you can already tell it's kind of gotten a little bit fingerprinty from me just like handling it, but I don't really mind it all that much. I just really love this packaging. It feels very, very luxe. It's also got a magnetic closure, which is lovely. Now let me just show you the inside of this palette, because scream. This is the inside of the Nocturnal palette, and oh my goodness, this is just absolutely breathtaking to me. I absolutely love these grungy tones and this pop of periwinkle right here. Like, all of these colors just mesh together really beautifully. And it's so inspiring and unique to me. Like, I don't really think I have a grungy palette that looks quite like this. And I do love my grungy tones. So they say that this palette contains 5 duochromes and 7 matte shadows. And these duochromes, let me tell you, like, they look so textured. Like, I think you can see, like, in the mirror right there, especially in Luna, like the shift. I can't really show shifts all that well. Look at that. Look at that. This shade Milky Way is, I can already tell you, like, that's gonna be all over my face. I'll be giving you more information about the palette later in this video, but let's get into the swatches because I haven't even touched this palette yet. I wanted to wait to do it with y'all. And we're gonna be going row by row with the swatches, so let's get started. The first shade right here is Milky Way, and this is such a beautiful, like, peachy pink base with a bunch of blue, purple, and pink shimmers in it. It's so multi-dimensional and so, like, textured, you can just see. I'm gonna be swatching all of these shades on the back of my hand with no primer and a finger. I usually swatch them on my arm so you could see all of them, but I got a new tattoo and it's healing, so I can't really swatch anything over it. Okay, ooh, this is really soft. This is what it looks like on the finger. Oh my goodness. As you can see, it's quite softly pressed, but not too soft, I think. And that shift is divine. Okay, so this right here is Milky Way. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna build up that swatch a little bit, because it is quite like a sheer sparkly shade. Oh my gosh. Look at that. These kind of eyeshadows are some of my absolute favorite because, like, I just love having like a sheer sparkly topper, because this like works on the inner corner. You could wear this as a face highlight as well, since the base color you can see right there. It's like a light pinky peach, but it could work as a face highlight. Oh my gosh, it's so shifty. The next shade we have is Night Vision right here, and this is a lovely emerald mossy green. I don't know what happened to my voice there, I apologize. And it flashes like a bright green, as you can see in the mirror right there, and the base is kind of like a brown, like taupe beige base. Does that make sense? So that's what Night Vision looks like on the finger. That is a lovely duochrome. Definitely a lot smoother, because you can kind of see like the texture and the like sparkle of Milky Way on this finger. But that is wonderful. It gives me almost vibes of Cleona Verde from that deep iridescent line. Similar vibes. I don't think they're dupes, but similar vibes. Apologies that these swatches are slightly dodgy, but that is Night Vision right there. Oh yeah, it has that lovely like tan base to it. Okay, I'm building up that swatch a little bit just to make it even on both sides. Or actually, this reminds me a lot of Zigzag from Glam Shop, which is also similar to that one Divina eyeshadow. I'm not too sure. You can kind of see right there. Ooh, I love that bright green. I'm a big fan of green eyeshadows. Look at that. The next shade is the first matte in the palette, and this is Witching Hour, which looks like a beautiful deep eggplant color. I absolutely love Glaminatrix's matte formula, and I'm so happy to have more of their mattes in my collection. This feels, ooh, that is a pigmented boy. That is so deep and saturated. And there's not a lot of like powder kick up in the pan from swatching it, because I know that the, what was it, the U Beauty palette, those mattes were very soft and had a lot of kick up. This one, it feels a bit smoother. Maybe it's the color, I'm not too sure. And that is Witching Hour. And I'll build up that swatch. I really like that shade. Let me do that actually. That is Witching Hour. It is a lot darker swatched out than it is in the pan, but that is very deep, very deep. Oh, I can imagine doing like some super smoky looks with that. Okay, the next shade we're gonna be swatching is Luna, and this is a lovely duochrome. I mean, look at that. It shifts from like, it has a deep plum base, and then it shifts to bright blue. You can kind of see the shift in the mirror right there as well. Now this shade Luna feels very similar to the Milky Way shade, like it's slightly more like crumbly in the pan. Crumbly sounds like it's a bad thing, but it's really not. Like, it just means it's more flaky and textured. Because Night Vision felt super smooth, but this is Luna on the finger. Ooh, I really like that. Look at that. It's got such a deep base without being a black based. This is Luna. Try and smooth that out as much as possible. Ooh, and I'll build that up as well just to make it fair, since I've built up every other shadow. Oh wow, it's got that purple like shift that Night Vision does. Like a similar shift, but this one's obviously more textured and blue. All right, the penultimate shade in the first row, this is Fog, and it's kind of like a mustard khaki matte. It's not really khaki, I'd say. It's definitely more mustard, but it does have a green undertone. And that is Fog on the finger. This is Fog swatched out. Oh, that is saucy. I mean, as much as I love sparkly shades, I'm just building that up. As much as I love sparkly shades, I'm a bit of a slag for mattes. Like a smooth matte gets me. Look at, that is so saturated. That is kind of like a baby caca type color. And I love it so much. Oh my god, that is beautiful. So smooth and saturated. Yes, yes. I like that shade a lot. The final shade in the top row is Gloom, and this is like a proper, like, deep khaki matte. That is Gloom on the finger. That is a wonderful brown. This is Gloom swatched. Holy shit, that's smooth. That barely needs building up. I think Witching Hour did, like, swatch a little bit dodgily because it is like a deep purple, and those typically have problems like swatching out and, you know, that sort of thing. They don't swatch the best. That is beautiful. Oh, I'm definitely gonna use those two mattes today. All right, I'm so excited for this next matte. This is Obscurity, and this is a periwinkle matte color. And I think the addition of this like periwinkle along with these grungy shades is just so nice. It adds something different to the palette. Oh my god. That reminds me of 8-Bit from the Sugar Pill Fun Size palette, the original, and I love that shade. I am very excited for this one. Ooh, nice. It's always hard swatching over the knuckles because I've got quite bony knuckles, so it just kind of ruins the vibe. Let's build that up. Oh, that is saucy as hell. Oh, that's so nice. That looks almost like, and I mean this in the best way, it kind of looks like pastels, like, you know, like art pastels, like if you just went like swipe that on your like piece of paper. Okay, this next matte again I'm so excited for. This is Murky, and this is a lovely chartreuse green. Again, I have a bit of a soft spot for these like murky kind of caca type greens. That is Murky on the finger right there, and this is Murky swatched out. Oh damn! These two colors together remind me of the Shroud It's Frickin' Bats palette that they did in collaboration with Beautbean. Ooh, I don't own that palette, but like those two colors together give me those vibes. I love that. Penultimate duochrome in this palette is Dusk, and this is a beautiful plummy, like, it shifts to like a bronze kind of color as well, like a rose gold, and a bit of I don't know actually. What is this color? Please let me know, because it's kind of, to me this is like a plummy berry shade and then it shifts to like a rose gold, I guess. That's how I describe it. And when this texture feels similar to Luna and Milky Way. I don't think I have a shade quite like this, you know. That is Dusk on the finger. Can I show you this shift? Well, I don't know. It has that rose gold base, but it's got such a unique like berry purple. That's pretty cool to me. So this is Dusk swatched out. Damn. Oh, she pigmented. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. For some reason I find it easier to show shifts when they're far away. But that is so damn cool. Maybe if I show it like this. Okay, we're on to the final set of swatches. This next shade is Nightfall and it is a teal matte. That is Nightfall on the finger, very smooth. And that's Nightfall swatched out. God, that is a wonky swatch, but damn. Saturated and beautiful, and it's got kind of a grey undertone as well. That is absolutely stunning. It looks a lot more vibrant on camera than it does in real life. In real life it's kind of more muted. The final shimmer in this palette is Constellation, and this texture looks a lot like the this shade right here, Night Vision. A bit more smoother, and this is more of like an antique bronze gold greenish duochrome. That is Constellation on the finger. That is stunning. That is one of the most pretty neutral toned duochromes I've seen. The copper to like green yellow shift. That is Constellation swatched out. Oh my god. Oh, that's so cute. It's smooth, but it's not like as sheer as Night Vision, because I think Night Vision had a bit more of like a sheer tan base, and this one has definitely more of a pigmented base. Oh my gosh. That reminds me of a Cleona shadow that I've seen. I don't know what the shade name of it is, but it reminds me of one of their shadows. And the final shade in the palette is Shadow right here, which is just a classic matte black. I don't have that many matte blacks in my collection. I think I only have a matte black in one other palette, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. To be honest, I don't really work with matte blacks all that often, so I'm not really a good... Okay, hold on. I was just gonna say, I don't really work with matte blacks all that often, so I wouldn't really be able to be a good determiner, but look at that on my finger. I barely swirled my finger in the pan. That is so saturated. Okay, I'm excited to see what this looks like swatched out. That's one swipe. That's one swipe. Are you kidding me? I'm just gonna even out the other side. But it doesn't really need it, honestly. What? I hope that blends out well, because if it does... Goodness gracious me. Okay, so now we're actually gonna get into the look. I'm using a baby wipe to wipe this off, and I should have probably gotten some micellar water or something, because baby wipes not super effective, it seems. But yeah, the kind of look that I want to do today, I definitely want to use like the more green toned mattes. I think I'm gonna do like a kind of neutral, kind of green murky like lid, and then on the lower lash line I might use Obscurity and a bit of Nightfall as well, so kind of like a green blue kind of mixture. Definitely want to use Constellation on my lid along with Night Vision, and probably Milky Way on my inner corners. I've got a whole ass look planned. I want to use as many shades as possible. All right, we are nice up close and personal. I do apologize that my skin is breaking out. It's not having a great time. We don't talk about it, please. Just selectively ignore it. We're gonna do one eye at a time because I find that it'll be a bit easier to show. So we are priming my eyes with the Milani eyeshadow primer as per usual. I always use the same primer in all of my videos, and I don't like to set my eye primer either. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I might work on the inner portion of my lid first and then go out. I might do that. So first I'm gonna take the shade Murky, the nice chartreuse color, and I'm gonna fluff that on the inner portion of my lid. The inner portion of my crease, I mean, sorry. And I'm just gonna tap off the excess on the back of my hand, and I should probably use a smaller brush. Oh well, too late now. Oh, that's nice. These chartreuse colors, I find that they always look slightly darker on the lid, than they do in the pan, and I don't think that's like a fault of like this shadow specifically. All of them are kind of like that in my experience. Like the ones in the Lunar Beauty Moon spell do the same thing. And I know that Gravity from the Club Nebula does the same. And I'm just using a little bit of my face powder, the Fenty Beauty Loose Powder. I'm just gonna blend out the edges. But that, I barely did anything, and look at that pigment. Right, I'm gonna take the shade Fog right here and just put that next to it and kind of see if I can blend the two together. Hopefully this will work because this does have like a green yellow undertone to it. But we shall see, we shall see. Just gonna put that right here. It's definitely more of a mustard shade. And we're gonna start to wing this out as well. Oh, that's nice. I'm just gonna take a massive fluffy brush. This is stained a little bit pink. There's no pink eyeshadow on it, don't worry. With a bit of my face powder just to, again, fluff out the edges, because I want this look to be really, really blended. And really like, you know, I don't know what that means. Again, it looks darker on my lid than it does in the pan. But I don't really mind that when it comes to shades like this. Okay, now I'm going to deepen things up with Gloom right here. And I'm gonna use the same brush. And we're gonna see how deep I can make this. So, just gonna pat that kind of on the outer V. And I'm still using this fluffy brush because it's slightly dense. I'm just gonna pat that on first and then blend. That deepens things up really nicely. Okay, do I have a somewhat cleaner brush? This brush is a bit smaller. Again, it's stained pink, don't mind that. I'm gonna take a bit more fog on this brush and just kind of softly sweep that to blend it a bit. And also take a bit of face powder. I really like that. I will say, fog is deepening up quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to go back in with kind of more of a flat packing brush like this. And I'm gonna go back in with Murky and kind of like pat that over because I feel like that's what it looks like on the brush, right? And that's what it looks like on my eye, like significantly darker. So I wanna see if I can like make it bright again. I think because I was blending it in, maybe. There we go. So much brighter, and then I'm just gonna slightly fluff the edges of that. There we go. Yeah, because I was looking at this look and I was like, I don't know actually, because Murky just looked a bit too murky on my eyes. Not really the vibe I was going for, but patting that on kind of re-intensified it. And like kind of made it more bright again. Okay, now I'm going to use a bit of Farinay Pixie Epoxy. This is basically like the NYX Glitter Glue, but a little bit thinner. I use this with every single shimmer formula that I use. And I think it's more of it's quite a fair test, at least to me, because I never use like shimmers dry. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on my finger. And I'm just gonna like tap that on. Because we're gonna use some shimmers. And I like to keep my first impression, like, routine as similar to my regular makeup application style as possible, because, you know, I like to see if these shadows would work well with my normal application, you know what I'm saying? And then let it get a little bit sticky. On the outer portion, I'm going to be using a Constellation, this shade. And then on the inner portion, I want to use Night Vision. And I'm going to first use a brush to apply this, and then I'll probably smooth out with my finger. So let's pick up Constellation on this brush. It's a more stiff shimmer brush. Let's apply. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm gonna put that a bit more on my lid because I want to leave the inner portion more for night vision. Oh, that is gorgeous. Oh, that's one of the most unique shades I own. I don't think I have anything in my collection quite like that. Ooh. Oh, bitch, it's coming together. Okay, I'm really excited to try night vision with this because I think those two shades would look really beautiful together. So let's put on night vision on the inner portion of my eyes. I'm just gonna use the other side of this eyeshadow brush to put night vision right here. And kind of blend the two together. And you're not gonna see the full shift of night vision, but that is stunning. I'm gonna kind of blend the two together where they meet. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Again, Murky has darkened a bit right here, which, I mean, it's not, I mean, it's a typical thing of these shadows. I wish it didn't though. That's the only thing. But oh well. It's still a pretty shadow. It's just, you know, not as bright as I would want it to be. I'm just flicking away. I have a tiny little bit of fallout, but that flicks away really easily. I do want to keep like the brown like on the outer corner though. Like I don't think I want to put, I think I just want to put Obscurity like right here. Like right on the inner portion, that like periwinkle. So I think I'm actually just going to use the browns on the outer corner just to kind of make things blend a bit better. This pencil brush is stained pink, apologies, but I'm gonna go back into that Fog shade and plop that on because again, I feel like Fog has darkened. Granted, I did put Gloom on it as well, but I feel like it has darkened slightly, so let's see. And I only have concealer on my under eyes. I don't have any like eye primer or anything. We're just gonna connect that with the lid, and I'm gonna make this kind of smoky as well. Just to kind of mesh things together and kind of wing that out a little bit. And now I'm gonna go in with the Gloom shade to deepen that up, and I'm also doing that technique where I squish the brush to kind of make like a weird like fan brush. I don't know, I like doing this. It's like a very oddly specific technique, but I like doing it to like tap on for the outer corners, and also it just prevents me from getting more brushes dirty. So really, it's just out of laziness. Just gonna connect that. Here we go. I think I ballsed up the shape up here because I think it's looking a little bit like, I don't know, the shape that I created is a bit dodgy, but I think that's a me problem. Because I'm a little bit out of practice when it comes to more eye looks that are like this. Rightio, so now we are going to put Obscurity on the inner portion of the lower lash line. I'm so excited to do this. This could either look really cool or very, very, very weird. I think also what's throwing me off is the fact that I don't have the other eye done. And I'm just like, hello, nice to meet you. So we're gonna take that on this chubby pencil brush and tap that on. And especially tapping it right where it meets the more brown shades, because I don't want them to muddy together. I could imagine, right, okay, using these shades like in the crease, like all over the crease, and then that shade as my lid shade, doing like an all matte look. Oh, I'm gonna do that, you know? I'll do that another time, maybe in my 3 looks video. Oh, this look's coming together. I really, really enjoy it. And of course, to finish things up, I'm going to use Milky Way on my inner corners because this shade makes my heart sing. It's definitely the most like flaky shadow out of the bunch. Right, I found another favorite iridescent shade, it seems. Oh, damn. Look at how sparkly that is. Look, that is obscene. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to go off camera, finish up the other eye, do my eye pencil, blush, cheek products and lips, and I'll be back to give you my first impression and talk a bit more about the palettes. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I have returned with the finished look. If you see lipstick on my teeth, no you didn't. I will say I had such a hard time trying to pick out a lipstick. I literally went through at least 8 of my different lip products trying to find something that will work, and I think I found something. that I'm quite happy with. I don't know, it's one of those days where like lip products just don't seem to match the eye look. But I will say I love, love, love how this look came out. Like, I haven't done a grungy look like this in such a long time, and it's so pretty. Oh, before I continue talking about the look, let me tell you what I'm wearing on my face, if you're curious. So in my waterline, I am wearing the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in Sunnyvale on the outer portion, and on the inner portion, I'm using the Lethal Gel Liner in Analog. However, it's barely showed up on my waterline because this is rock solid dry at this point. I need to get some Duraline to like rehydrate it because it's in desperate need for one. My lashes today are the style Erin from Glisten Cosmetics. You can use my code SKYE10 for 10% off, which is affiliated. I should probably zoom you in closer so you can actually see the look. Blush today, I used a very, very, very light hand of the CoverFX blush duo in Warm Honey, and I mixed that in with my bronzer because I didn't want to have a super blush heavy look today. And on my lips, I am using the Melt Cosmetics liquid lipsticks in the shade Chestnut. I'll fully admit the shapes of the eyeshadows are two completely different shapes, but you know, that's okay. That's definitely my fault. I am so in love with how this look came out. I think that it's just so beautiful, so sultry and grungy, and like I had to add lashes, like I had to, because I wanted to add the drama. I had a really fun time playing with this palette, and I'm so, so happy with this look, and I'm so happy I managed to fit in as many eyeshadows as possible. So anyways, let me zoom you out so we can actually talk about the palette. I want to remind you that this is still a first impression. This is not a review by any means. I've only used this palette literally once. So I used 4 mattes and 3 shimmers, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the matte formula first. So I will say Obscurity, absolutely stunning. I mean, I barely like blended it on my eyes, but it's still just so vibrant, so beautiful, very, very opaque, stunning. I have no issues with this one. Fog and Gloom, really enjoy them. I will say that Fog does deepen a bit on the eyes when you start to blend it out, but it still remains to be the same like mustardy kind of color, so it's not too bad. I think because I mixed Gloom with it as well, if I just kind of like left it on its own and just kind of packed it on a little bit to keep the vibrancy, it would be okay. I will say Murky is the matte that I'm not disappointed in because it does blend beautifully and, you know, it looks nice, but it darkens so much on my eyes that I don't know if it like, I want it to be this vibrant, you know what I mean? And it just kind of like blends to be more of a murky shade, which makes sense. And I know that eyeshadows this tone do tend to do that. It is just the nature of them that most of them do tend to darken. I just wish it was a little bit brighter on my eyes. And even when I packed it on, like you saw when I patted it on after I like fluffed it in my crease, it's still kind of oxidized on my eyes a little bit. So that's a bit like, nah. I'll still play around with it and, you know, I still like the shade. It's just something to keep in mind. All right, the shimmers. So Milky Way, I mean, I don't think I really need to mention how much I adore this shade. It is so sparkly, so intense and vibrant on the inner corners. Absolutely stunning. I can imagine using this as a topper shade for the rest of the shades in here. Constellation, beautiful, very smooth and sparkly, so shifty on the eyes. I didn't have any issues with it looking crusty or like textured on top of the Fair & Pixie epoxy. Because one thing I hate more than anything is shimmers that look really textured on your eyes, especially if you have like a glitter primer underneath it. But no, Constellation is very smooth and beautiful on the eyes. Same with Night Vision. I was a little bit worried because this seemed to be like the least kind of like textured of the bunch, in the sense of the least like, you know, like the actual formula feels a bit different. It's a lot smoother, a lot more like sleek, if that makes any sense. But on the eyes, I mean, it is so, so vibrant, like especially blended in with Constellation. Like they complement each other really, really nicely. And I had no issues with any of those shadows. Like they just worked fantastically. This lash is popping off. We don't talk about that. So far, I am really liking this palette a lot. I really am inspired by it. The color story is beautiful. Apart from the Murky shade, I'm just really impressed with it so far. I cannot wait to play with this more and try different color combinations, and I just feel like This is such an inspiring color story to me. I'm excited to play with it more, and the mirror is really nice, the packaging is beautiful. Now let's talk about like the prices and all that other stuff. The pans in here are magnetized inside, they're not glued in, so if you get a little magnet, you could just pop these out and put them in little custom palettes, which I wish that every single brand did this, where they made the shadows inside magnetized. So like, for an example, I know in a custom palette, I'm gonna wanna have Milky Way. Like, I know I'm gonna wanna have it. So the fact that I can just pop it out easily with a magnet and then pop it back in, it's great. I like the versatility of that. You can use it as a palette altogether. You have the option of pulling it in with your singles. I really like that touch. All of Glaminatrix's palettes, to my knowledge, are like that as well, so that's even better. And they are the standard 26mm pans. Well, actually, no, they're 26.5mm. Sorry about that. And this palette retails for £42.92. I will put the price in US dollars right here and in euros if you're curious. Now, Glaminatrix are an Australian indie brand, and I mean, this packaging and everything, to be honest, I was planning on buying this palette even if they didn't send it to me in PR, and so far, I mean, £42 is expensive, and their shipping from Australia, again, can be quite pricey. I think like roughly, I feel like this palette, if I bought it with the shipping and everything, it would probably be more around like £55 or something, which is quite a lot for a palette, I will admit. That's almost a Natasha Denona palette, if you include the shipping and everything. Obviously, price comes into play a lot with this, but I have to say that the packaging is so luxurious. Like, this feels expensive, which is like, you know, really good to have, because like, as much as packaging isn't like the biggest deal, when a palette's expensive, I kind of want to have nicer packaging as well, and this packaging is really beautiful. Like, I mean, you can't deny it. The fact that these pans are magnetic as well is a huge plus to me. The color story is unique to me as well. The shimmers and the textures in here, very, very beautiful. The matte formula is smooth as hell, just from what I have tried. So personally, I wouldn't see an issue purchasing this on my own. Now again, this is a first impression. I can't give you like my full thoughts. I will give those to you in my review. But so far, I really like this. I'm excited to continue playing with it. I'll probably pull it into my next Shop My Stash. And yes, I am a big fan of this so far. It's just really inspiring to me. Like, I look at this and I'm just like, damn. It's quite something. It's something special. I will hopefully have a 3 looks 1 palette plus review video with the Nocturnal going up soon. That'll probably be my next 3 looks video. I'm not too sure when that's gonna go out because I've been quite busy with life stuff, but we'll see. Let's hope that I can get that out. With all of that said and done, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do let me know, do you have the Nocturnal palette on your wish list? Do you own it? What are your thoughts on it so far? What's your favorite shade? I'd love to know. Again, thank you so much to Glaminatrix for sending this to me in PR. I really appreciate it. Again, not a sponsored video. I just wanted to share this palette with you and share the excitement. If you'd like to see more makeup content from me, then you can follow me on my Instagram. It's beautyybyskye right here. I post all my looks there and I'm active on there every single day. If you'd like to support me further, I do have my own small business, Rain Cloud Candles Co. We are a small queer-owned business based in the UK and we make handmade candles. The link to shop will be down below along with our socials if you'd like to support us. The spring collection is probably out now, or if not, it is about to come out, so yeah, link in the bio if you want to shop. We have a Grandma's Garden, which is a beautiful freesia and pear scented candle. I love this one so much. And we also have Cherry Blossom Dreams, which is cherry blossom and plum scented. So yeah, if you'd like to shop them, they should be out now or very soon. I don't know when this video is going up. Anyways, I'm awkward. I find it difficult to promote myself when it comes to my brand. I'm just very bashful, right? Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.